Or whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours on Mark 11:24. So I ask any state of consciousness in my world to hear what I want to hear, and if I can become self-persuaded that what I have heard is real, it will objectify itself in my world. She was in this mood of leaving him, but his imagining brought her back, and they continued, as I say, for a number of years after that in that same apartment. So, here, when you read the stories in Scripture, don't think for one moment it's a story about people who lived unnumbered years ago. This Isaac and his 2 sons are not persons who lived 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. They are people who are now seated right here. Isaac is your own consciousness, and the 2 sons are your outer world and your inner world. Your desire is your Jacob, and what the senses seem to tell you, as it were, of the outer world is your Esau. You do not destroy it, you only clothe it. The outer world is your Esau, and that gives birth to your Jacob. So do not think for one moment of the ancient story. It is contemporary. This is the moment for action. You know tonight what you want. Well, how would you see it? If you had it, what would you do? Would you see the room you are now in differently? Would your friends see you differently? Would they see you as they always have seen you? Or would they see you in a different light? If they would see you differently, let them see you now in your imagination. Go out and call them in, as we are told. I have called you by name, you are mine. Call them all in and let them see you as you want to be seen. Don't wait and don't delay it. Do it now, and in no time at all. If you become faithful to what you have done and simply let it remain in your imagination and believe in the reality of what you have done, it will work. Here is a lady in the audience tonight who wrote me a letter, but I do not have her permission to read the letter. I have the letter home. She was unemployed and couldn't find work for the longest time. Then she heard the story of imagining creates reality. Well, she had nothing to lose. She was down to the very last few cents, and that was it. She imagined that she was gainfully employed. That very night, as she went to bed, she repeated the imaginary act over and over in her mind, as though she had actually done it. The next day, she received a call from a company she had never heard of, asking her if she would come for an interview. She went, and they employed her, but she had never applied for the job. They had somehow got her name and number. Then, as she was working for this company, she had a big idea of going west to another city where she would like to live. So she did the same thing again and landed the job she wanted in another city. She wrote me all about it, but she did it all within herself. She was told it doesn't matter what the world says about her, what they say she did or did not do. It was her inner activity that was creating her outer world. She would sit quietly, just as Blake said, "We have only to raise imagination to the state of vision, and the thing is done." She would do it over and over in her imagination, just like a man who is unemployed. The simplest, easiest way to get a job is to employ yourself in your imagination. As Blake said, "You are an immortal artist. You are the greatest artist in the world, for you are the God who created the whole vast world. You are the immortal artist who can clothe any state in reality. You do it, and then the thing is done. So, you take any state, don't fight with it, just simply clothe it. And if you become self-persuaded that the thing is so, then it will unfold itself in your world, it will come to pass.